Good morning, confidence community. How's it going today? So good to see you all for power posing for confidence. I'm Amy Colombo, confidence coach for nurse coaches, EFT practitioner, and single mother to three boys. We are going to talk today about a very simple 2-minute hack that you can do anytime, anywhere, any place to feel more confident inside yourself and also portray feeling to others and have others perceive you as confident with power posing and body posture and body language. Why are we talking about this? Well, 55%, you heard me correctly, 55% of our language, of our communication to others, of what they are taking in, comes from our body language. 38% is vocal tone. Only 7% are the actual words. This is pretty mind-blowing. This has to do with emotions and emotional connections and communicating, but all communication as well. You getting up on a stage, your presence, your authority. How are you embodying that in your body language? And that's where power posing comes in. When I introduced myself today, I was very, very conscious after doing the research for this live as to how I introduced myself. Because if 38% of what we're conveying a message of has to do with our vocal tone, in addition to 55% being our body posture, when you introduce yourself, how are you saying the words? I'm Amy Colombo, the confidence coach for nurse coaches. That's very confident, authoritative. You believe it. But what if I said, hey, I'm Amy Colombo, the confidence coach for nurse coaches, right? Where I'm almost like asking you a question as to my own identity. That's just one example of how vocal tone can impact how you're introducing yourself. So at the same time, when we're talking about power posing, just imagine if I was here like this. So power posing is not only about how to spread out and take up space, it's also about how to not contract and make yourself small. Perception of confidence. Adopting open, expansive postures can influence how others perceive us, often signaling confidence and assertiveness. Amy Cuddy is the one who really did a lot of studying on power posing, and this came through her research and her findings. So there is science behind this. And when you think of people that you've seen that are confident, I think of Matthew McConaughey talking to Oprah like this, right? Like with his chair, his arms like this, his legs are spread wide, and he's literally on Oprah in national television, just very comfortable, very confident. That is a power pose. When you see somebody sitting like this, think of how we sit in our chairs in a movie theater, or even if you go to a talk or in some kind of a conference, you're almost trying to make yourself small, like you're afraid to touch the person next to you. That is not a confident power pose. That is constrictive and making yourself small. And what that also does is you are embodying that feeling of constricting yourself and making yourself small, which also conveys that message to others. Self-perception and empowerment. Engaging in power poses may also help you to feel more confident in your body. And this came across in Amy Cuddy's research as well. She called it the fake it till you make it strategy. And she did this study with people that were going in for job interviews. And what she had them do was stand in a power pose for 2 minutes prior to going into that job interview. That's all it takes is 2 minutes, 120 seconds. I wanted to try this, so I did it right before I came on this live, maybe like 20 minutes before. I added in a little bit of mirror work. So I stood in the Wonder Woman pose in the mirror for 2 minutes. I put a timer on and I stared into my eyes, added a little bit of mirror work, and recited affirmations. And the way I felt afterwards, I was like, how do I feel? I felt calm. I felt at ease. I did feel more confident in my body. It was a slight shift. And Amy Cuddy has said that that is one of the best things that you can do before going in for a job interview or something that has high stakes involved, where you want to be perceived as confident. Hormonal changes. This really blew me away. I love science and hormonal changes, and it makes so much sense. What they found in their study was that when you power posed for 2 minutes, they took blood work before and blood work after. And in every single participant, without fail, after power posing, cortisol went down. What is cortisol? Cortisol is the stress hormone in our body. It's the thing we all know and are trying to manage and release and let go of more and more because it's impacting us on so many levels in our health and our wellness. Well, it's also impacting your relationships. It's also impacting how you feel about yourself and how other people perceive you. So in every candidate, when they studied, cortisol went down and testosterone went up. So here you are, your cortisol's going down, you're feeling less stressed, you're feeling more calm, more peaceful, more at ease in your own body, along with a spike in testosterone, which is the hormone of dominance and power. So just imagine that's what's happening in your body. And the lights went off in my head because that is the thing. That is what every one of us want. I know every one of you, as much as we talk about confidence not being this feeling, there is a feeling in your body, and that's what you're really after. And just imagine power posing can actually produce that, which is a spike in testosterone and a decrease in cortisol. How do we apply this to nurse coaching, power posing, and feeling confident in your body? Well, just think of your businesses. You are getting yourself out there, as nurse coaches like to say. You are starting to be seen and to be heard in the world. And how do you want to be seen and heard? As an authority, as an expert, as even if it's a compassionate, loving, nurturing human being, which a lot of coaches have that inside themselves. You want to portray a presence of, you know what you're talking about, like you know a thing or two. And what you're most afraid of is people not agreeing with you or what others will think and say about what you know and what you're deciding to be seen and heard about. When you get out there and start showing photos of yourself for your social media presence on your website with confidence, by power posing, by standing tall, by taking up space, by not looking afraid, you can portray a message of confidence and authority so that people can build a know, like, and trust and want to work with you. And think of the people that you know, like, and trust or love or admire or watch or who you're consuming their content. What is it that you like about them? What is it that feels like it's magnetizing or attracting you in? I bet it's on some level authenticity. Authenticity is like it's the real them. They're unafraid to show themselves, to be seen and to be heard as the real them. And look at their body posture. Like, how are they showing up, right? Even if I just decide to be on camera, to talk in front of a room, that in and of itself is a very confident decision. But how am I present on stage? How am I present with my client in a session on the Zoom? How is my body postured? Am I looking forward or am I making myself small and tiny and contracted? These are just easy things to think about and a way for you to feel more confident in your body and actually portray that confidence that you want people to perceive within you. In Amy Cuddy's study, they did a study. Half of the participants would power pose for 2 minutes, 120 seconds before going in for a job interview. And half of them would unpower pose, they would give them like a contractive type of a thing, which involves any type of crossing our arms or our legs or hunched over or making ourselves small. You know, when we think of like when we're feeling vulnerable or sad, like we like to do this and rock and it feels nurturing and comfortable. not a confident pose. So she had half the participants do these poses for 2 minutes before going into a job interview. And this crossed all gender, socioeconomic, and racial lines. The people that did the power pose before they went in for the job interviews got hired. And the ones that didn't. They actually said, like, don't hire them. So the power posing actually created that hormonal shift in the body for the person going into the job interview. And then they were reminded to sit in a power pose. So that just means using your arm rests. That means not crossing your legs or your arms. That means sitting up straight and not hunching over. Simple. Here's a picture of Oprah Winfrey like this in her chair, When you think of the boss, right, with their feet up like this and their back like this, right? They're in a position of power and authority. There's no greater power pose than that. Well, I wouldn't suggest you do that in a job interview, but you can do that for 2 minutes before a job interview to create that shift in your body and really embody that confidence that you want. Another thing just to think of for nurse coaches is think of the pictures you're posting. And when I think of this, I think of photo shoots and how photographers that are really good photographers like to spend time with their clients because they know it takes a little time for them to warm up and to get comfortable with them. And that's when the natural, authentic, creative expressions of themselves will come out and make amazing photography. But in the beginning, when they're a little nervous and they're not so sure and uncertain of them, maybe they're meeting that photographer for the first time, they're more inhibited. And the pictures do not convey that beautiful expression of authenticity and confidence and freedom that we all love and want in our own lives and love to see it in others. It inspires us. I'm just going to go over a couple of power poses. My favorite one is the Wonder Woman stance. And we all know this one. This is the one where we put our hands at our sides, fingers forward, not back. Back is not a power pose. Fingers forward, okay, on your hips like this, back straight, and legs kind of in a V, standing up. That looks like this. That is a Wonder Woman stance, and that is my all-time favorite. That is the one that I did before coming onto this live while looking at myself in the mirror. I also use this pose in sessions with clients. We are often doing very deep, vulnerable work, sometimes going back and healing childhood trauma. And the client is really getting into those emotions because the way that we heal is by feeling into those emotions that we're storing in our body. So after the client gets very vulnerable and releases those very vulnerable emotions, and it's really a lot, I will oftentimes have them stand up and do a Wonder Woman pose. I will have them stand up and do the next pose, which is called the victory pose. That is just, you think of someone who won, they're like this, yes, right? That's a victory pose. And I will sometimes just have them stand up and I'll just tell them, like, make an X with their body. And then I'll just have them spread around, move your body, take up space. That is what a power pose is, right? We're taking up space. And what the opposite of a power pose is anything that makes you small and contracts and crosses and has you in and down and like that. And remember, we want to do this because this is making us feel better in our bodies. And this is shifting the energy inside of ourselves, which is actually portraying and emitting that energy signal out. And people are perceiving that. And again, this was studied by Amy Cuddy, and time again, the participant that did the power pose 2 minutes before going in for that job interview would get the job interview. So start practicing, start noticing how you're sitting. And just a couple things to remember, body language is 55% of your message. So how are your photos for nurse coaches on social media, on your website? How are you presenting yourself when you're talking or doing workshops in a group? How are you presenting yourself to your clients on your one-on-one sessions? This is really great to think of, and this is 100% within your control. It's something that you can put into practice today, this second, this minute, the next hour, this week. This is not something that you have to wait on. Okay. And just remember that doing this pose not only makes you feel and embody confidence in your body, but it also emits that signal out and is palpable and perceived by others. Also, nurses, we love our body chemistry. We love hormones. I know I do. Just think that testosterone is spiking while that cortisol is plummeting, and that is creating that magnificent, beautiful feeling of confidence that we all want, that we're all after. I don't think there's anything better than that. By integrating these strategies, you can project greater confidence in your professional interactions as well as your personal interactions, and enhance your effectiveness as a coach and as an entrepreneur, and just as a woman in her life that has decided she's worthy. She's worthy of going after her dreams, and she's not afraid. Power posing isn't just about posture. It's about embodying the confidence you want to feel in every area of your life and business. And just imagine how showing up with this level of presence and power could transform the way you market yourself, the way you coach yourself, the way you coach your clients. Just imagine. I would love to help you build your confidence, not just the posture, but actually build it from the inside out to make that posture match those beliefs and those thoughts and your inner state of being. And right now, in this moment, I have one-to-one spot that is open for March. And if this speaks to you, if this is something that you believe that you're ready to step into, then I want you to go ahead and take me up on an offer for a free clarity call. Where we will get deeper on that, and you can know what that would look and feel like to actually step in and own and embody your confidence and your courage. Okay. So with that said, if you want to go ahead and book a clarity call with me, just drop the word clarity, or you can click the link I'm going to put in the description, because what are you waiting for? Your greatest life wants you just as much as you want it. And if you want to embody confidence, then I would love to be your coach on that journey with you. Okay, everybody, have an amazing day. Leave any questions or comments for me in the chat, and I will see you later. Bye.